Yo, what is good, guys? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I have a lot of stuff to show you guys in this video. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, oil, the US dollar, Apple, Tesla, biotech, semiconductors, and SPY, and then the more controversial stuff with the fractals, the phantom bars, pulse zones, fib circles, GAN fans, and yeah, you're going to see I got a lot of interesting stuff to show you guys today. So with all that being said, we're just going to get right into it. Make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So to start off, we're going to take a look at the events that we have for this week. We got a lot of events for this week. I think we're going to have a lot of volatility this week. So I think the big things you're really going to want to be watching are those PMI numbers, and you have those GDP Q2 estimates, but as well as the PCE numbers. So a lot of big stuff this week. I think you're going to see a lot of volatility. So I'm going to tell you what I'm expecting for specifically really Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and yeah, you're going to see. So first off, we're just going to start off with Bitcoin. Been going exactly as we expected, broke out of that wedge. From the Discord, I called for that bottom around 17,000. Said take your money at 25,000, 24,000. Since then, it's only gone down. You might get you move back up to this pretty significant line right here, 22,400, 500, but you're in this pretty clear bull flag now. So this could get pretty nasty, depending on how this continues to play out, but we'll see how it goes for the next few days. So oil in that rising wedge or falling wedge, that bullish reversal pattern. We were down here. I said we're probably in this falling wedge. You had your divergences on the MACD. This is going up while that's going down, and you're testing that upper trend line now. You're having trouble with that 50-day moving average on the 4-hour, but the point is you're testing that upper trend line. So I think if you get a breakout, this seems like a pretty significant area where you kind of have a lot of congestion. That would be a supply zone where you'd find resistance, but I think oil's getting ready for a breakout, so something to watch. UCO, UCO is the one to watch. So the US dollars, you got that spike we've been expecting. Dollar goes up, markets go down, and if you make new highs, that could get really nasty here. So everything's been going as expected. The dollar really does have some upside here. Just from looking at the MACD and RSI, it seems there's room to go. So Apple, nasty rejection. You filled that gap, got that rejection from that upper trend line, and yeah, I think it's likely you come down and fill that gap. That's a pretty big one. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Tesla, really same thing. Couldn't get past that zone of illiquidity. No volume traded here. You were already overextended on the daily, so impossible to get through this. So I did not think we could get through there. You had that bottom trend line, which is really the one I was saying to watch. Once you broke that, I think it's just gonna pretty much free fall, and you got a big gap under 800. So you would probably be going under 800. Biotech, if you're in the Discord, this is one we're really watching here. You had that fake, I guess like fake bullish close on the weekly, and this is the one I guaranteed returns on, because it had to do with Elliott wave theory. You don't come across these opportunities very often, but it followed all the rules to where that downside was guaranteed. So after making really good money on that, I went very heavy on it because I was very confident that it would go the way I expected. So semiconductors here, NVIDIA earnings on this week. I forget which day it is, but I think this is gearing up for a breakout. This has a pretty strong inverse correlation with SPY. SPY goes up, this goes down, and then vice versa. So I think because this is looking ready to gear up for a move and a big break to the upside, I think there's a good chance NVIDIA earnings could be bad, which would make this go up, which in turn would not make SPY go down, but signal that, sorry about that, in turn SPY would probably go down. So big things are coming this week. Big volatility. So SPY, time to get in on SPY. So first thing I want to go over, short covering data. The short squeeze has finally ended. Now this is what I really thought when we got up to around 430. And another thing I want to show that was that target we were looking for. We hit that on Friday. But OPEX, I didn't mention this in Thursday's video. It marked the bottom in June. You can go back to my thumbnails. I said like the $5.1 trillion squeeze is coming, something like that. And that was from OPEC for all those, positions in the derivatives, futures, they all get repositioned. So massive money getting moved around, and that's really where that marker for the bottom was. All of those positions getting repositioned from OPEX. So that marked the bottom, and I said I think it's going to mark the top in August. Short squeeze finally ended. You can see that from the flows here. You can see this short covering. Um, that was a monster squeeze, and that was all from short covering. Retail shorting at the bottom like they always do, but you can see there was no buying pressure here, and in fact the other way around, selling. So all that upwards pressure came from short covering, and no one was buying into that rally. So that was pretty interesting. I'm just going to show you kind of what happened on Friday, but we were playing in the Discord. So we were looking for that 421.50 target quite a while ago, actually. We were at 427. We're going to look at the Bollinger Band counting channels, but regardless, got that broke down to there, and I said, I think it's safe risk reward to buy calls for a little bounce up to 423, something like that. If you're in the Discord, you know what I'm talking about. Join that. That's going to be in the description if you want to see all of this stuff. So we're going to get into the charts on spot. This is some stuff I'm pretty excited to show you guys. So let me make this a little smaller. I got some crazy stuff to show you guys. So we're going to take a look at the Bollinger Bands and counting channels. This is, if you go back to my last video, I said we could get this breakout as soon as tomorrow because specifically the Bollinger Bands were inside of the Keltner channel. So let me clean this up. So I'm going to explain this stuff. This is the Elliott wave theory, which I'm going to give you my predictions for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a bullish scenario that could happen. So one thing, pivot point, you're on a pretty big pivot point here. So we'll see how it reacts with this. I don't think we're just going to plummet down through. You'll see why. But the Bollinger Bands, I'm going to replay this so you can really see how it happened. But the Bollinger Bands were inside of the Keltner channel here. And when that happened, that's signaling tightening volatility, tightening momentum, and a breakout is coming. A big breakout too. And I said the odds were to the downside, and I explicitly said this move will be to the downside. Within a matter of days, maybe even tomorrow. That's what I said on Thursday. So Bollinger Bands come inside, they break out, and what do you get? You got your breakout. So it's just started, but you got that breakout. That's the point I'm trying to make you. Right down to my target, which was 421.50. Now this is very interesting because I'm not sure if this is the bottom of this wave. I'm going to explain that with my Elliott wave theory. We're going to take a look at some other stuff, but it's a little tricky. So we're going to go out to the bigger time frames quick. We're going to take a look at the weekly. There's a shooting star on the weekly. Now this is nasty. This is very bearish here. The RSI, it's sitting just above 50. If you get back under there, it could get pretty rough. So ADX as well. This is looking pretty interesting. We'll see how those lines react with each other. If the red turns up, you're back going into that downwards turn. So pretty interesting shooting star on the weekly. That's pretty bad. So back into the actually I'm going to show you the controversial stuff with the fractals. The fractal is finished. So this is one I've been showing you for quite a while. It's been happening for years. Shows up every once in a while. 2018, all the way back to 2011. So this is not just like, okay, it looks similar. Like this is a fractal. It plays out from time to time. So you finished it. What happens next? You get your big move down. Especially when you're in a bearish market. So something I'm watching. I think that next line is going to be this line, but it's going to be a process to get there. So I'm going to explain to you what I expect and how we would get there. So that's it for the fractal. We're going to go back into here. I'm going to show you the fib circle, which, this is something I've been showing for like the past week or so, where all these big transitions happen. Now, this does look like crazy stuff, but open your eyes. Keep an open mind, and you're going to see really the significance of this stuff. So this is, you can see all the big transitions here when you move out of these rings, and what happened here is you finally breached that one of the last outer rings here, and you're getting that move down, which was guaranteed. Actually, it was guaranteed because you finished those 5 waves to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I'm just going to explain this to you now. I was planning on doing it later, but the bullish scenario. So right now you might be in wave 4. What happens after wave 4? You get your wave 5. So where do you find where wave 4 stops at? You find your retracement levels from wave 2 to 3, and it can stop at the 14.6 or 14.6%, 23.6%, 38.2%, and 50%. So any of these levels here, you're at the first level here. So this is really the big area we're looking for, most likely for wave 4 to go to. It can bounce from here, but it's very unlikely because the smaller time frame wave counts are showing something else, which I'm going to show you soon. So, but if you break out from one of these levels here, which is unlikely, you could be going to 440. I don't think I've really heard anyone say that yet, but if you stop from here, you could be moving to... It doesn't make sense to me, but that's where you could be seeing. So we're going to keep that in mind, and that possibility just gets higher the deeper you go, 450. So it's something to be watching for the next few weeks. See where we are able to hold up, where we find support. And I'm going to explain this in another video, but the fundamentals, I'm a very technical trader here, but the fundamentals will matter. You have China in the zero zone just going to absolute ruins. China, the real estate issue. I think we're going to see the downfall of China, and if the downfall of China comes, that's really going to take the whole world with it, because China, they play a major role into really the global supply chain, all of the, they make everything. So that's going to be pretty bad. They'd go to war with Taiwan to really try to distract the public from what's happening to their economy, because that's what countries tend to do when their economies crumble. And Europe, inflation is obliterating them, pretty much guaranteed recession for them. So two very big countries with horrible fundamental situations right now. And of course the US, they're just covering it up. It might take a few months for this recession to hit us, which I'll probably talk about in another video, but quantitative tightening, we have not even started it. In fact, really they've been doing the opposite. They increased their balance sheet by like $3 billion when they're supposed to be decreasing it by, it was like $47 billion per month, and going into September, that rate is getting doubled up to almost $100 billion in offloading of derivatives and bonds and numerous companies and ETFs. So it's very interesting. It's a lot of factors to consider, but we're gonna get back into the technicals. So I gave you that bullish scenario. I would really not like to see that, but it's all gonna depend on this retrace. So if that retrace holds up and we manage to do that fifth wave to the upside, the bottom is probably in for quite a while. So I think that's what I had for that shorter time frame. Yeah, quick one more thing on the 1 hour. So the RSI, we moved under 50. I explained that if we get under there, you're going to be in a bearish control zone. And I said, the MACD isn't showing us much, but you could see a rejection maybe. Now, it really didn't show us too much, but we kind of got that rejection, but nothing significant. I just wanted to give the update on that. So now it's time to go into the 15 minutes. So a lot of interesting stuff on here. I'm going to show you these, that channel we broke out of. I'm going to show you that pattern we broke with the 50-day moving average, the 200-day exponential moving average. So I'm going to explain the moving averages. They never crossed over. They got close. They never crossed, but we crossed this time, and we were underneath them. So this is going to produce substantial momentum to the downside, especially on this time frame. It'd be more significant on the bigger time frame. There's a lot of room, so that might need to close, but this is going to produce significant pressure from above. So that channel, you finally broke out of that. That was that channel we were watching for quite a while, and we are now in a new one. So there are two possibilities for this new channel, which we're going to find out which one it is in the next few days, but I'm trying to figure out which point I take it from. So it's either this one, you have that fake out to the upside, or it's this one where I'm lining it up with that one. and these two bottoms. So I'm not sure which one it is. Yeah, I don't know which one it is yet, but we're gonna see how it plays out the next few days. Both of these do have reactions, so it's really difficult to tell. This one almost seems a little more significant, but I think okay. So this has a lot to do with the Elliott wave theory, so that's why I'm really trying to figure out which one is right. So I'm going to show you this. We're going to get into the Elliott wave theory soon to show you where and when we're going to be going, where and when we will break out and where we would break out to. So the big thing to watch, that's on the 50-minute, this MACD. So once you break this downtrend, you're going to get quite the explosive move to the upside, which I think would fill that gap. And you can't fill that gap unless you have specific setups for it that have to do with Elliott wave, which I'm going to explain. So that's for the MACD. The 15-minute, before I do all my Elliott wave, I want to show you some other stuff I'm looking at. So you have these divergences, pretty small divergences, but these are all on the shorter time frames. So like the 1 minute, the 5 minute, you have gigantic divergences. So all the way up to the 1 hour, I believe. Very small. So RSI, it's really not significant enough yet, but that's a divergence. So 30-minute slight divergence. So just something to be aware of. You have divergences forming. So you will get a move back to the upside soon, but I am really hoping for just a little more downside. That's all I want. Like specifically for 20.5, and I'm going to show you the significance of that. But I think that's everything I had to show you that's not Elliott wave theory. So yeah, I'm good to start now. So I'm going to take this off. MACD, I'm just going to clear up this whole chart. So first off, you're in a channel. You're definitely in a channel. You're just trying to figure out where you're drawing it from. So I think we're just going to do it like this for now. It might be from this one to this one, with the top line being for there. Just go back, rewind to when I did the fib channels. But the big thing here is that, so actually I'm going to map out the lines I've been watching. So you had this like triangle here, however this is drawn. So you had this triangle you broke out of. It was bearish because you have your, so this is something, add to your arsenal. In triangles, they say it's 50-50 chance. No, it's not. That's completely wrong. I don't know how they haven't figured that out by now, but if the first touch of the wedge is to the upside, odds are it's bearish. So you have A, B, C, D, E. Odds are to the downside, and then you can tie in other factors with, how the setup is if you have 5 waves. So this was 100% going to the downside, and I explicitly said that. I bought puts up here, and I was very confident. So that's what we got. You got your down move into this kind of I'm not sure what this is yet. I would think it's a wedge, but the first touch is at the top, so it's very tricky to say. Okay, these lines are too thick. I want to make them smaller. So maybe a wedge. You do have those divergences, but I don't think this down move is finished because I'm going to put up all my Elliott waves. So this is really difficult to piece together because there's like so many things. So I'm going to do my best to, but it might sound confusing. So also, this might not even make sense if you don't know Elliott wave theory, but I really recommend trying to understand it. So here's those channels line. Here are those channel lines I was talking about, and I really don't know which channel lines to use, but what you have here is your wave 1. I'm going to go even smaller. So you have your wave 1 here, wave 2, and wave 3. So in 5 wave developments, you have your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I don't think wave 3 is finished because I'm going to show you on futures. It's the same as SPY, but you have that movement, which doesn't show up on SPY, during after hours pre-market, that stuff. So, oh, I almost forgot. Phantom bars. I don't want to forget to show you guys this. So this is another controversial stuff. It's not controversial because it works, but it just sounds crazy. But phantom bars, you have gigantic one to the upside where that gap is. I think we're going to fill this gap later, but I want just like $2 more to the downside. And I would be fine with we're going to move up to here. We get another leg lower down to the 400 teens. We fill that gap and then we go lower. So it's a whole process. I'm going to try and show you it, but these phantom bars here, you can see this. You have one down here, and this has to do with auctions that happen with the big money, mainly the core open auction imbalance, which happens at 8 a.m. New York time. I'm 3 hours behind, so they show up at 5 a.m. every single morning. And I believe this has to do with unfilled bids from market makers during the early open auction, during pre-market and all that stuff, during futures. Confusing stuff. I did a video on it. You can go find it. Just go back through my channel. And I tried to explain it best I could, but it's a very vague topic, so no one really talks about them. So yeah, if you found a video someone else has done, I encourage you to share it with me, because I literally could not find anything, and I looked for a while. But anyways, back to the charts. Futures, right? So you hit the target, but this is the issue here. You hit the target, but there's no clear 5 waves after this correction, and you need 5 waves. So this is the problem here. It's somewhat not completed. So short term, it's setting up for a move up, but I would hope to see just a little more downside, maybe a gap down. I think gap down would be the best scenario, because you would just get that quick move down. You don't have to battle with those indicators. So a gap down would be preferable. I don't know if that'll happen, but yeah, it's very hard to tell. You hit the target, which is 421.50 on SPY, but you don't have the finished wave development. So that's where my issue is. I just want those few more waves down. So I'm going to explain it one more time. I'm almost done with the video. I'm just trying to show you this, and I'm also I'm trying to keep this short, but this is really difficult to explain, especially trying to keep it simple. So okay, give me a second here. So you have, this is wave 1 for sure. Wave 1 from the top, wave 1, 2, 3. You're in wave 3. If this is 5 waves to the downside, this is wave 3. So in this wave 3, you have wave 1, 2, 3. This is 3, 4, 5. You need this 5th wave to finish, or you need it to finish. That's just how it works. So I would really like to see one last move down, preferably to 420.5, that region. Maybe you overshoot it and you drop, and that would still be valid, a valid move. But wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the way you get that 5th target is from wave 3 to 5. So there's a lot of lines, but right here, that's one target. So again, for 420.5. So hopefully this area, I'm really hoping for that, because if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be kind of confused. So after that, if that plays out, what you're gonna see is also you would get that reaction off that channel line. So maybe it is from that bottom. There's a lot of stuff. So I just want to take this stuff off for a second. So let me put this back up. Bottom channel line. So hopefully you would react with this channel line. You get your bounce, and where would that bounce go to? So if that's at 420.50, I'm going to put a line there. So close enough. You get down to there, you get your retrace of wave 3. So where does wave 4 go? This is really just me predicting way ahead. Actually, I already did this drawing, so I'm just going to show you in the Discord, because here it is. So you get your retracements. This is what I would like to see. You get your waves down, you get that target 420.50, maybe to 420. You get your big bounce right under that gap. You get your 5th wave down, and then you get your huge ABC, your correction of this move, before your next move down under 410. So that was a lot. I hope I didn't complicate it too much, but I want to see one more move down before you get a big move up to the mid 420s again. And after that, we'll just follow it and see how it goes. But I'm really hoping for that gap down or just a little more movement to the downside Monday morning. If not, we might just be moving back up to the mid 420s, and I'm just going to have to reevaluate and see how it plays out during the day. But if it goes to the downside, we'll know what to expect. So that's going to leave this video. I showed you everything I wanted to show you guys. Oil, Bitcoin, everything's going as expected. We're just going to see how Monday plays out. If you watch this whole thing through, show it some love, give it a like and subscribe. Join the Discord, I'm telling you. There's nothing to lose from that. So that's going to be in the description. Make sure to check that out, and peace out, guys.